Welcome to the Drive Network. I'm your host, your boy, Big Bucks, and today we're blessed with the ever so beautiful Zinhle Zuma, actress, vlogger, influencer, you name it. Welcome, and how you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
You most welcome. We've been wanting to have you on the show, and thank you so much for making time.
Thank you.
Cool. How are you feeling this morning? A bit nippy?
Yeah, it's quite chilly today. I thought isami singenile kanti cha. But it's like that time yasesonto ngicabanga ukuthi siphelile kanti
It's not. Actually, now that you mentioned that, I'm watching the news yesterday and there's this lady doing weather. Mm-hmm. And then they ask her, "Hore, it's already September."
Yeah.
And it's the end of September now and it's cold. It's there's snow, it's freezing, it's raining. Mm-hmm. When is spring? She's like, look, it is spring now. Whether it's hot or cold, it is spring now.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah, well,
But thank you so much. Let's jump straight into it, right? I want to just take you to a situation where back where everything started, right? I want you to give me your earliest childhood memory of which is indicative of who you are today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I have a lot of those.
Yeah.
I grew up in KZN in a very small town called Danhauser. We are from the same hometown as DJ Zinhle, if you are.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm from there. I grew up with my mom's side of the family. Soon after that, my parents got married. We moved to Durban, and then unfortunately, my father passed away.
Oh no, condolences on that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And I was like 10. I think that did take a toll on me.
Correct.
And the kind of person that I am today. So we had to move back to Danhauser. Got a school that side. Finished my primary schooling, went to high school in Glencoe, and then I moved to Port Elizabeth to further my studies. I enrolled there to do a financial management course. I then dropped out.
Yeah.
Soon after that, because I found my passion for acting, and then I asked myself, how do I get to act? Because that's my dream.
Yes,
Yes. And then I found my way to Joburg. Luckily, I had my aunt who stayed in Midrand. She said, since you want to do this acting of yours, you can come and stay with us and pursue it. I was very grateful for that. I went to auditions, did my research, met people, did my networking. And then, I got my first cameo.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
That's absolutely. And I think you mentioned the passing of your dad at a very tender age, having to move back to the smaller town, DJ Zinhle's town. Shout out DJ Zinhle. They crown her the hardest working woman in the country today, right? So what instilled that belief, that even though I've lost my dad at an early age, somebody who was maybe providing at the time and now having to move back, you still had the belief that you could make it. But what's that special factor that instilled that belief?
Look, I think it's a burning desire that most of us have, to make something of ourselves. So I always believed in myself, and I think my mom played a huge role in that, in making me believe that I can be whatever I want to be in this world. And she did contribute a lot in my confidence. So I just believed. I had a burning desire.
Is it?
Yeah.
I want to tap into your memories, right? Do you think there's a particular memory that you've just hidden away, whether good or bad? Do you think there's that particular memory that you've locked away? And if there is a memory that you would like to relive. So first, maybe the one that you've hidden, whether good or bad. And the second, would you have a particular memory that you want to relive? And what's that?
So it's a moment of family and love, spending time with family during Christmas time. I remember there was a time where I spent Christmas with my father's side of the family. We did it traditionally, that every Christmas time we go that side and we spend a time together as a family where everybody is from all the different sides of the world, and we come together as a family and we gift one another And I would like to have that for myself. I'd like to have a family of my own where I spend time with my family during those times, Christmas,
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are the kind of memories that I'd like to relive.
You mentioned a lot about family dynamics, spending time, and I think maybe we might have touched on this, right? Around, do you think while you're pushing for your dreams, chasing your dreams, do you think there's space to date, and how does that affect you getting to your goals?
Look, it's not easy, but I think anything is possible in this world if you set your mind to it. But also, again, being able to say this is the time to work and this is the time to build whatever that I'm trying to build on the side, you need to be able to manage well. God blesses good managers.
Absolutely.
Be it finances, be it your life. So I'm not going to say it's easy, but I think it's possible, and I will chase my dreams. But at the end of the day, I'd like to have a family of my own.
Yeah, that's a great one. And it's a big dynamic in today's world, in a sense that we want to date, we want to chase dreams. Funny enough, we saying there's this element of, I want to date this type of guy, yes, with money, with a nice body, tall guy. How do you think that affects the young youth, especially from ladies? Mm-hmm. Because if we're looking at the economy today, not every young guy is really doing it. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's at 5%. Mm-hmm. And are we all going for the 5%? Or
we might end up sharing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what's your view about that?
Look, people must do that. I mean, do you, boo? But yeah, I would advise people to focus on the things that truly matter, and not just a person having money. And because you find ladies that don't mind dating a married man just because he's got the money.
It's providing.
He's providing. My apartment and pay for whatever. So even if he doesn't come to spend time with me, I don't mind that. But that's not healthy.
Absolutely.
Sometimes that does cause a damage in you as a person, and you might not even notice that it's damaging. But I would say, don't forget about the things that truly matter. Focusing too much on the looks, on the money, and look, money matters, guys. Money it's quite important. It makes the world go round.
Correct.
I'm not saying
correct.
Go for the person who barely can afford a cool drink.
Yes.
So focus on the things that truly matter.
I think you mentioned money, you mentioned the looks. And I'll tell you why I think it's very important. I personally would tell guys that say money doesn't matter. Money, if it doesn't matter to you, I'll send you my bank account. It does matter. It does, make life a lot easier.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to looks, there's this saying, right? And for me, it stuck to my head when the first time I heard it, that if you're a woman and the only thing that you bring to the table is your looks, then you've got a depreciating asset. Because in your 20s, maybe up to your 30s, 35, 40 maybe, you're still looking nice, hot, good. But then if that's the only asset, then there's probably a younger Z that comes in and is a banger. And the guy who got Z now because of the looks only is probably eyeing that younger version of Z to say, I need to now upgrade this facelift. I talk about facelift because I want to ask you, actually, what is your favorite car, and do you know how much it costs?
You know what? I do have a favorite car, but I don't know the finances behind
it.
I love a Porsche 911 GTRS.
Look at that. You've got the details that go into it. And lucky for me, I asked you about this, just to see if I can do some homework for you. I was hoping that you don't know how much it costs.
I do not know how much it costs.
I was hoping that. Yeah. And I've done some research for you because part of our journey at the Drive Network is to look at the financial literacy behind lifestyle, behind cars, because financial literacy forms an important part of your psychology. If you've got no money, if you're broke, you can be depressed.
Yeah.
And most of the time when life improves, we also apply lifestyle inflation, because we get the better car, we get the better house, we get the better looking clothing, and we start spending more than we know.
Yeah.
But going back to the Porsche, lovely car, by the way. And this car retails, and this is just a 2019 model of it. It retails for 6 million. Retails for 6 million.
Sure.
So if you're looking to buy this car, anyone that's watching, to get you ready mentally, if you're getting a 72-month repayment term at 13.5% interest, you're paying around 110,000 per month on the installment. It's a 3-liter turbo with a petrol engine. Powerful car, 515 kilowatts, 750 newton meters of torque. And for fuel, it's about a 64-liter tank, meaning for one fuel tank, you'll pay around 1,350. I normally say to guys, if you want to enjoy your car, at least afford 6 full tanks a month, which works about just around 8K per month.
Okay.
And for your tires, I normally say, always have money to buy a tire, because our infrastructure is terrible. You can burst a tire anytime. So at any given time, have the amount for 4 tires. 7,500, one tire for this vehicle. So for 4 tires, you're looking at about 25 to 30K for 4. And insurance-wise, anything between 6,000 to 10,000, which, if you've got a good profile, maybe you pay just close to 8K, 7K. So all in all, that's how much you're looking at just for this beautiful car. But I believe, because you're on the Drive Network, that you can.
I receive.
You can.
I receive.
Hopefully we've prepared you mentally on that.
No, definitely.
And then, do you think luck played a role in your success somehow?
I do not want to call it luck. I would say it was preparation meeting readiness.
Wow.
Work,
Wow, I like that.
Work behind the scenes. The effort that I put, sometimes you would be praying for stuff, but are you really ready for your blessings?
Oh, that's profound.
So I wouldn't say it's luck. I don't like the word luck. People work, people sacrifice, people go through things to get to where they want to get.
That's powerful. I funny enough always say to guys, opportunity meets preparation.
Yes,
If you are prepared and you meet, let me dwell a bit on the surname. You meet a Jacob Zuma and you want to be a politician, you need to be ready for that, because you can't meet JZ and say, hey, I want to be a politician, but there's no track record, there's no preparation that shows, right? But if you meet him and he's seen that you've been in some structures, and maybe he pulls you from an EFF to MK, but with the surname, any relation to the Zuma family?
I would like not to comment on that one.
Okay, cool, no problem. Some MK vibes, but I won't say. So yeah, I think, take me back to your first job, or how was that like? Because people often see you where you are and they think this is it, this is where it began. Or how was that like?
So initially I was a professional makeup artist. I used to work on set, like do makeup on actors and actresses. I used to work a lot in production. It wasn't easy.
Look at that. So you were on the other side before you came to the other side.
Yes. So that's how I think also I drew inspiration. I said, actually, I would like to do this.
Wow.
Actually, I'm sure that I want to be an actress one day, because it might have been a dream from a very young age. But when I got to set and worked on people, did makeup on them, it did really equip me to get to where I am.
Wow, man, because part of what I was going to ask you is, did you always know that you want to be an actress growing up? And look at you started on the other side. And what would you say has been your favorite role? And where was that?
My favorite role was on a Showmax film by the title Goodbye Gogo, by Beautiful Day Productions.
Yeah.
I liked her because I drew so many common things from her character.
Wow.
Not everything though.
Yes, yeah.
We do have our differences with Unandipa. But she's a very introverted person, and I think I'm a very reserved person. That's the common ground I got with her.
Correct.
Though the sister-in-law's husband took advantage of her being reserved. You know, you find people that take their chances. Let me take chances. So yeah, I would say that's my favorite role that I've played so far.
And I like that because I tend to be very humble, and sometimes I sit in my corner and say, am I just too humble? Maybe that it looks like a weakness.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people would then look at that and think, this one is reserved, this one is humble, I can take it. And I like what you say, because I sometimes sit in my corner and ask myself that. But then I just want to say, growing up, do you think, not even think, but did you have a role model? Who was your role model? And do you think that you've made yourself and that person proud?
It's the woman that raised me.
Wow.
Very hardworking, very resilient. Both of my grandmothers and my mother included, they are very hardworking. My grandmother finished school. Well, I'm just going to touch on her story a bit.
Okay, great. No, more than welcome.
So that's my father's mother. She got married at a very young age. I think she was 16 when she got married.
Wow.
And then, you know, after getting married, you're going to be expected to have kids and build a family. Maybe if you have dreams, that has to park a bit, you know.
Absolutely. Back in the days, obviously.
Yes. So she sat down after giving birth to 7 kids. I don't want to call my grandfather anything, but he was a bit absent in the family.
Okay.
So she had to take on the responsibility by herself. She sat with herself and said, what do I do now? You know,
correct.
I have children that depend on me. My husband is, you know, he promised me this world and he's not giving it to me now. He said, you can go to school if you want after getting married. But after she got married, that man was like, nobody is going to school. You're going to have to raise the children, make my house warm, you know, sort of a setup. So she took on the responsibility, started working for shops in Indian shops in Greytown. Took herself to school. She graduated at the age of 14.
Wow.
To be a teacher, and then she retired as a principal.
Wow, look at that.
That goes to show how much of a resilient person she is.
Absolutely.
And then after retirement, she started her own farm. She started supplying supermarkets in Greytown.
Wow.
You know, I'd say that is where I draw inspiration from, as
wow.
well as my mother's mom. Also, she was hardworking, had her own businesses, opened a shop, you know, and I think that's where I draw my entrepreneurial bug from also.
Correct. Wow, man, that's amazing. That's amazing. And I listened to you say, obviously they had an agreement with the grandfather and he said, things have changed. He amended the agreement at the end, right? Which is not great, but how has that affected how you view marriage and, you know, just dating naturally? How do you approach it with that experience?
With that kind of experience, I understand that we come from different backgrounds, and I wouldn't think that everybody is going to be like my grandfather, because obviously we are all brought up differently. So when I am doing any sort of interaction or relations with the person, I like to track back to their background so that it gives me an understanding of the kind of person that they are. So it helps me to take decisions after that, you know. So background matters. So I wouldn't say I think now all the men are like that.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm scared. I'm never getting married. No, that's not my thinking. I try so hard to be open-minded when it comes to stuff like that.
No, and I'm glad you mentioned that. And guys, she does background checks, due diligence. So be careful. Don't just come here. She does background checks. I like your grandmother's story because it just slightly touches on something that's very close to me. and my heart and a bit of a journey that I'm doing with the young boy. And I'm saying your grandfather would have done his way, and your grandmother went to study, had a farm, and became very successful.
Yes.
Sometimes you find that she became more successful than the grandfather. Now, in a dating situation today, it is expected that men will make more, but women do make more. Do you have a view on whether this can work when a woman makes more than a guy or something? You think it can work?
I think it can.
Mm-hmm.
I think it can work. Just that sometimes, I've seen a lot of hot-headed ladies. Once umuntu knows ukuthi ish I make more than isikhumbuzo. So la endlini kuzokhala isicathulo sami.
Isikhumbuzo shame.
La kukhala esami isicathulo. So but if you, how can I put this? You can make more money, but I always advise ladies to always keep your feminine energy.
Correct.
Money is just a byproduct. That's what most people say, and I believe in that as well. You shouldn't let that determine the kind of person that you are. So, just keep your feminine energy, work together as a team. I strongly believe it can work. Well, in my world, it has to work.
Absolutely. I've seen it work in a lot of instances. And because there's a lot of drive around building women, you find that women are now starting to be in a better position to earn more than men. And you find that society and how we brought up is that a man will take care of the family. Naturally, we as guys want to take care. Look, it happens mostly, but things are starting to change, and we're just asking the questions to get people ready for that. And one of the other things, especially in your industry, is more around financial literacy, and a lot of people tend to be very scared to understand their finances. And I want to make them, I want to play a bit of a game with you. On the big 5 animals, there's a lot of things that we can learn from a financial point. So if you can mention, because there's a lion, there's a leopard, there's an elephant, there's a buffalo, there's a rhino, I think. Which, just mention any 2, and I can easily tell you a secret that we can use from a financial literacy perspective.
Lion.
Lion. Let's take the lion first. Do you think you can learn anything from the lion's character that can help you manage your finances?
A lion hunts. So you hunt, you get the coin, and then what after that?
No, that's a good one. That's a good one. Because a lion hunts, and you can hunt for money. Now, there's one thing that a lion does as well. After hunting, the lion eats first ahead of the pack, and then the rest eat. And normally that's because you want to check if there's any poison, if the food is good, and you can eat first, then the rest will come. But essentially, from a financial literacy perspective, you save your money first, then you spend later.
Okay.
Because if you spend first and try and save, you probably have nothing. And that model mostly leads to failure when you're trying to save. So when you want to save money, you need to save first and then spend later. Last one.
Okay.
So that's what we can learn from a lion. And maybe we'll give them one for now. But where do the people find you for your additional work, and where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram under the handle zinhle._z. You can find me on Facebook and on Twitter.
Is it? And then what else can you tell us before we let you go? What else can you tell us before we let you go?
What else can I say? This is a message to the young girl.
Yeah.
You know, you can achieve absolutely anything you want to achieve in life. As long as you believe in yourself, you put in the work, just equip yourself with a lot. They say knowledge is power. So stay in school. You know, when your parents are telling you, go to school and finish school and uzimele, be independent.
Wow.
It's always a good thing.
That's powerful,
to do
man.
for yourself.
That's powerful. Thank you ever so much. I like to keep my chats a bit short, but I've drawn a lot, and I'm inspired, and I'm happy to see that there are young women that are thinking correctly. And I hope the young ladies are watching and you can draw a lot from Zinhle. Do follow her and start learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Awesome.
This is Bogart Radio.